Morning, everybody. The old truck's got a little bit of squat to it now with all the goodies loaded into it. So I bought an overload kit. Timbren consists of these go in places of the bump stops instead of airbags. Look like pretty straightforward. Instructions say I can do it in 30 minutes, so we're gonna find out. There's where the truck's starting on its height. Hoping to get it back up in the air a little bit. So I've already sprayed down some of the hardware underneath and gonna crawl under there and get started. Okay guys, per the instructions, I've got it up as high as I can. It said to let the axle hang freely. Well, I can almost slide a piece of paper underneath it. That's as high as my jack stands go. So I guess I'll trust my life with some Chinesium stuff and crawl up underneath there. And those are the factory bump stops that are coming out. Bracket that goes on. That bracket. And that goes in there, and it's supposed to be a progressive rate. I'm gonna be really anxious to see how it does, because the poor old truck's got some squat, and I can hear the overload squeaking, and it's just driving me crazy. So here we go. Well, we got the bump stops out. Hardware was seized up. Bolts started spinning in the original bump stops. Wouldn't back out. So I got out the trusty old air hammer. And boy, that thing is a beast. Made short work of that. So now we'll start fitting the new parts in. Hopefully that goes a little bit smoother. Here they are assembled. They do come with a spacer and longer bolts, but I'm gonna try them without the spacers to begin with. See how it rides, see how it sits. If they need to be added, it's not going to be much of a chore to do that. Just try to keep the ride height a little more manageable. So next step's put in a couple bolts and get it off the jack stands. Well, got them bolted in place. That's a little bit of a chore. Don't leave a whole lot of room in there to get to everything. But I'll take her off the jack stands and see where it's sitting now. Well, it's sitting on the overloads that we just installed. We were 16.5 underneath that step when we started. We're just over 17 3/4 now, so raise the back end of the truck up 1.25 inches. And well, the space around the fender wells looks better than it did. Not buried up in there anymore. Inside the length of my box, if I block it up about a 1/2 inch, then the truck's running level, or then the level's reading level. So got it running downhill, the nose of the truck downhill just a little bit. That's kind of the stance I'm wanting, so I can still have some suspension back there. crawl under there and look. And they are in full contact with the perch, just like they're supposed to be. So I'll be making a road trip tomorrow, and hopefully I'm not listening to the squeak of the overloads anymore, because I do have a gap there now, as to where before it was just running on the overloads. So that's it for the install. I'll leave some feedback after I get some miles on the old truck, but hopefully that takes care of that. I went with these instead of airbags because I had airbags before, and it seemed like they were a little bit of a maintenance issue out here on these rough country roads and bouncing around in the pastures. So I went with these progressive bump stops. Really kind of caught me off guard to see it on the side of it that they're made in Canada. Seems like about everything's made in China anymore, so it was nice to see something that came from at least North America. And got a lifetime warranty. So we'll see how they do. Any questions or comments, just leave them below. And thanks for watching, guys.